Men fall in love with their eyes because they're visual. They're very visual. And remember, they're also single focused. That's why you don't point out the stuff that's wrong. They won't see that. But they fall in love with what they see. And ladies, this is not a disrespect to you, okay? Men are attracted to beauty. Women think that if a man looks at another woman or he just glances at another woman, that he's being disrespectful. They take it personal. And it is so not personal. It's how a man are designed. And that's why in many of these podcasts you've heard me say, if women only understood how a man's makeup, how a man is really made up and how he's designed, you would not take all the things you take personal as a personal hit to your esteem.
Welcome to the Daniele Hage podcast with Daniele Hage. I'm your host, Daniele Hage. Daniele is my mother-in-law and Nini to my 3 girls. Daniele is a pastor, speaker, and founder of Dynamic Traits. She has 40 years experience in family and marriage relationships. She's been married for 42 years to Steve Hage, who travels the world preaching the gospel, and together they pastor a church in Laguna Niguel, California. So today we have a question for you. What if your body is worthy of obsession from a man? All right, we're going to talk about 4 things that a man is obsessed with on a woman's body.
Okay. So first of all, the first part of a woman's body is the palace. And when I say the palace, I'm meaning that area below your belly button. Okay. That's the place where sex happens. And a man is definitely obsessed with that. And I don't think I have to explain why. I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
The second part of a woman's body is her scent. Okay. The way that a woman smells, her fragrance. He's obsessed with the scent of her skin, of her palace, of her breasts. I mean, her hair, every part. Men will, when I've asked men, so what is it? Oh, okay. Well, here's the third thing is a woman's skin. And when I've asked them, them, what about a woman's skin? Why do you love a woman's skin? And you know what they say? It's so simple. They go, because it's soft. Her skin is soft.
Yeah.
And they love the smell of your skin too. And then the other part is a woman's curves. And I think a lot of times women because we are so much harsher on our bodies than a man will ever be,
yeah.
We sometimes rip ourselves off thinking the only curves that a man is attracted to are those on Malibu Barbie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have those exact curves for a man to be aroused by you. Men love all different shapes and sizes of women, just depending on the man. When we ask men, like, what is it? What curve is your favorite curve on a woman's body? It's so funny to me because I've gotten so many different answers. And they always use hand motions to tell you what it is. And I just think that's so cute. But, they'll say anywhere, of course, her breasts to her hips, to the nape of her neck when she wears her hair up, a woman's calf. I've had one man say her smile, the curve of her smile. Mm-hmm. I've had other men say when she's laying flat on her stomach, the little dimples in her back, the curve of her back, the waist to the buttocks. So they just come up with all kinds of things. And just know that men love women's bodies. So ladies, you don't have to be so hard on yourselves. The other thing I always like to remind women is to never, ever point your flaws out to a man. We see everything that's wrong, okay? We know our bodies, but men don't see it. Mm-hmm. And that's the really cool thing about a man being single-focused is when you're going into the bedroom and whether whatever you are wearing, if it's lingerie or a t-shirt or you're naked, he is just so excited that you're there. He is not judging your body. Don't start saying, oh, I know I'm fat, or do I look fat, or look at the cellulite, or look at the stretch marks. Don't do that. Yeah. He doesn't notice them.
Right.
He's so focused on just getting into your body. So don't ever point it out. I remember one girl saying, I was dating this guy. Everything was great. He was so hot. Our relationship was just very, chemistry oriented, and it was great. And then one day he just breaks it off. And she said she couldn't figure out why. And then she runs into him like a year later. And she goes, hey, so what happened there?
Yeah.
And he said, do you want me to tell you the truth? She goes, please do. And he said, I thought you were so hot, so sexy, so beautiful. He goes, but you were always complaining about your body.
Yeah.
And he goes, and pretty soon I started noticing it.
Wow.
And it became a turnoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
So ladies, you don't ever have to do that. And you don't even have to point out your flaws to your girlfriends. Okay. We all have them. We all know. So just let it go because we can become so self-conscious as women. I mean, probably men can too, but I'm talking to the women right now. We can become so self-conscious. My husband will call it navel gazing, where our nose is down and looking at ourselves, and self-consciousness makes you unpresent. It takes you away from the people that you're around because you're so worried. Is my lipstick right? Is my hair right now? Right. Okay, what are they saying? I need to look in the mirror and make sure, am I oily? Am I, and just being self-conscious. And that's not attractive. I remember running into a girl, beautiful girl, by the way. She's on TV, beautiful girl. And I ran into her like at a Trader Joe's one time. I'm in my workout stuff, stopped there on the way home from the gym. She had too. Yeah. And we literally turned around, bumped into each other. I hadn't seen her a while. And I go, oh my gosh, how are you? She goes, oh my gosh, I just came from the gym and I know I don't look right. And I'm in my sweaty clothes and my hair. And she just goes on this rampage of telling me what's wrong with her. And I remember just thinking, oh, that's so sad that she doesn't know how pretty she is, even with no makeup, even in her gym clothes. But she's pointing out everything that's wrong and wasting a lot of talk time. Yeah. It's like, I don't care about that. I'm a girl. You don't have to tell me that. And so, but self-consciousness, all it does is you are showing your true colors, that you don't think much of yourself, that you don't have very much self-esteem. And so you don't have to do that. Don't point out the negative to anybody.
Yeah. And it's important to talk about this because it's just another way that women and men relate to things in a different way and can be a point of contention. Like you're saying, he sees the overall shape.
Yes.
He sees shapes. He sees curves.
Body parts,
doesn't see, this, that there, and this there, and maybe there's a little extra dimple there. And he's not seeing that. He just sees the full body.
The full body. Mm-hmm. So men fall in love with their eyes because they're visual. Yeah. They're very visual. And remember, they're also single focused. That's why you don't point out the stuff that's wrong. Right. They won't see that. But they fall in love with what they see. And ladies, this is not a disrespect to you, okay? Men are attracted to beauty. Yeah. Women think that if a man looks at another woman or he just glances at another woman, that he's being disrespectful. They take it personal. And it is so not personal. It's how a man are designed. And that's why in many of these podcasts, you've heard me say, if women only understood how a man's makeup, how a man is really made up and how he's designed, you would not take all the things you take personal as a personal hit to your esteem.
And create more conflict.
Right. And I've had women say, well, just let him disrespect me because he's looking at another woman. He can't help it. Okay. Now, I'm not saying if he's sitting there lusting, drooling, looking at another woman, that's totally different. Okay. I'm not saying that that's okay. But men are going to notice. Women notice attractive guys. I notice attractive women, right? We are all created to desire beauty. Yeah. We love beauty. We can appreciate beauty. So just know that. And I think women that have low self-esteem take those kinds of things personal. Mm-hmm. But if you have good, healthy self-esteem, other women will become less and less of a threat to you. Mm-hmm. Okay? You just have to be confident in who you are. With my husband, it's like a game for us. I will even point out to him, oh my gosh, look at that woman. Her hair is so gorgeous. Or, man, that woman's got great legs. We will admire it together from afar. I'm not threatened by other women. And here's the thing. There's always going to be women that are prettier than you. There's always going to be women who are less attractive than you. Let's not get caught up in that. I am who I am. And my husband married me because he liked who I was. Right. He liked how I looked. There's always going to be a certain man that is attracted to the curves on your body. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. What do you think causes sexual arousal in a woman?
Her skin. I don't know. What is it?
Nope.
I've never heard this from you.
It's not her eyes. It's her ears.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
It's good. What a woman hears. Yeah. Okay. So, men, because they're so visual, we talked about this earlier. I'm going to try to say it in a very
no, call it out.
Respectable.
I have girlfriends who have been in the dating world and they call this out. This is some crazy.
Okay, here's the difference between men and women. So men will send a woman a dick pic, right? Because they think that's a turn on. Because men would get turned on by seeing a naked picture of a woman. Yeah. Like it doesn't matter.
They think this is a reciprocal thing.
Right. And for a woman, it's like, ew. Yuck, because we're not visual like that. That's not a turn on to us. In fact, we start to think you're kind of creepy doing that. But men think because they'd be turned on if you send a picture of your boobs, that'll turn you on. And guys, just so you know, it doesn't. Yeah. Women are aroused by what they hear.
Yeah.
What they hear you say, you are so beautiful. I cannot wait to get you alone. I can't wait to kiss you and hug you. When you talk about intimacy, when you talk about relationship and connection, when you talk about the future, when you talk about romance,
Yeah.
that's what turns a woman on. Okay. It's not what she sees with her eyes. It's what she hears with her ears. So just you guys be aware of that. Life used to be a lot more a lot more balanced 60, 70 years ago.
Yeah.
Because back then, men were responsible for 100% of the purse.
Yeah.
Women were responsible for 100% of the palace. Okay. And there was a trade. There was a trade back then. I marry you, I get to the palace. And for a woman, you marry me, you get to take care of me, kind of thing. So there was a nice trade-off there. But now our culture has changed.
Yeah.
And life has become a little bit more imbalanced, where women own a big portion of the purse because they're working. They have their own money, right? They have their careers and their jobs, but they still own 100% of the palace.
Yeah.
So what does that say? Women are powerful.
Yeah, we have a lot of power. Yeah.
Women are very powerful because what do we need men for anymore, right? I can work. I can buy my own house. I can have my own bank account.
Yeah.
I can even adopt a child. I can even have a baby without a man. What do we need men for? But here's the thing. We love men. We want men. We want the companionship. Yeah. We want to have a man in our life to help us raise children and to have babies with. Right. So, but a lot of times because women have gotten so much into their masculinity, their male side, because they are career women owning their own businesses, that we forget to return to our female side, which is the thing that men crave. They crave our femininity from us. And because that's not who they are, they actually need our femininity to make them feel even more their masculinity to make them feel like a man. So we have to be aware that times have changed.
Right.
Okay. It's not the same when our moms were growing up.
And the overall message that the feminist movement has sent over the last few decades is we don't need you.
That's right.
And so
we can do it all
we are
on our
finding
own.
Men who, okay, fine. Yeah. They're not engaged in that reciprocal relationship anymore, that balance anymore, because you told us you don't need us.
Right.
But then we turn around and say, well, I'm just so overwhelmed. I have this, the mental load that's happening. And we really have to take a look at that shift in balance in what we really want to engage with in our homes.
And, my husband and I, we've been hearing that there's more and more women that are like in their 50s and 60s that are alone now. They've been very competent, very successful at their jobs. They have money. They're getting to the age of settling down as far as retiring and stopping work. And they're saying, we made a mistake because now I'm alone.
Yeah.
I'm alone. I don't have anybody to share my life with. So you can do it all by yourself. You can be independent, self-sufficient, very competent, and end up alone later on in life because you don't need a man.
Yeah.
Okay. And I mean, to me, I want a man in my life. Even, we talk a lot, because we're getting older. Well, what would happen if your husband were to die or something? And I have girlfriends that'll say, oh, I would never get married again. I always say, I would absolutely get married again. I like being a wife. I like having a partnership with a man. I mean, yes, I have great female friends, lots of fun, but they can't bring to me what a man can bring to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's different. It's differently. So ladies, even though we are, able in our culture now to express our masculine side like never before, we've got to remember to keep our feminine side nurtured also and return back into a woman when you're with a man, if you want a romantic relationship. Femininity or feminists have the equal pay for equal work is wonderful. And it's not bad to be independent and self-sufficient if you can return to your female side when necessary, if you want to be in a romantic relationship.
To be in a healthy romantic relationship.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think every woman wants that. I do. I could be wrong, but I think if they're really honest.
I don't think we can say absolutes, but I think a majority of women who want children and are in a relationship and have a family want a healthy balance and strive for that healthy balance in their marriage and want to be, because we've talked about attraction, and a man is first attracted by what he sees, and then that intellectual attraction, at some point we were the feminine one. We were the one that attracted him to us. And we need to return back to that. Sometimes we need to return back to that if we've strayed away from that a little bit.
And just in case you didn't see our other podcast, we talked all about how to nurture your femininity by taking care of yourself, not judging yourself, getting in touch with your body, all of its flaws, all of its imperfections, and all of the good parts, and being okay with that.
What you're saying right here is what he's obsessed with.
And those are the very things.
He's obsessed with your curves. He's obsessed with your scent, your skin. And so taking care of that. No wonder the beauty industry is what it is. The billions and billions and trillions probably of dollars, to get our skin looking nice and making it glow and having it
shiny
soft
hair.
And then our scent. And all these perfume. Everything has perfume in it, to make every single part of us smell good. But there is a reason for that because there is physiological attraction.
Right. And that's why also the plastic surgery industry is a billion-dollar industry, because women want to adapt to what they think men want. And I know so many men that say they don't like plastic surgery on women. They feel like women overdo it and they look plastic. They don't even look like normal anymore. And I think we can get to that place where it's overdone. I'm not saying I never will or I never have. My secrets, but I have. But I do think we need to get to that place where we're secure enough in ourselves where we can age gracefully. Because, we really, as much as we're going to try to defy aging, we can't. Although I'm going to go down and fight like hell to defy it. But I know I'm going to age and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, and I think if you're doing it, again, like you're talking about, a man loves curves. So if you're doing this for you and you're doing it to enhance and you're feeling good about it instead of doing it out of a deficiency, a flaw, I just think there's the ultimate having plastic surgery, doing whatever you're going to do, augmenting your body is not the evil. It's the intent behind it. So if you are doing it to enhance,
right.
And not like not because you're ashamed.
Exactly. And I know like in my younger years, and I still do today, to me, taking care of myself, like health and fitness has always been a very big passion of mine. And I didn't go to the gym and work out for my husband. You may have heard people say, well, you need to make sure you take care of yourself because you want to look good for your husband. I have never tried to look good just for my husband.
Yeah.
I want to be healthy and fit and toned and have a good cardiovascular system for me, for my health, so that I can feel good about me, so that I can keep up with my grandkids. Yeah. I've been in the fitness industry for 20 something years where I was an instructor, and it was always a passion for me because I wanted to be healthy and fit, not for my husband, for me. He appreciates that.
Right.
And I like him to be healthy and fit too. And he does it for him also. But I don't think, we're just doing it for men. We're doing it because for ourselves to feel good and to look good.
Yeah. Which plays into our identity. If we're secure in who we are and what we look like and how God made us. Same thing. I work out for me, mostly mental, but also the physical benefits of it.
Right.
But my husband appreciates it.
Yes.
Yeah. And he'll tell me that, which then just makes it all work.
It's so many more benefits than just looking good. It's what's going on inside of your body.
Yeah. Because then I'll feel good. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Here's one of the things that men say is a huge turnoff to them is when women will not receive a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and I've asked men this. So how does that feel for you when you say, hey, you look beautiful? Well, I'm not having a very good hair day. And, and you find all the excuses of why you're not beautiful.
Right.
And you're saying
let
that
him
to
know
him.
That. Yeah.
Right. And
again, pointing out flaws.
Yes.
Yep.
And for a man, that makes him feel unappreciated. He's trying to give you something.
Right.
He's trying to give you a compliment. And see, women won't receive.
Yeah.
A lot of times we won't receive. We feel that we're unworthy of receiving, or we I don't know, it has to do with our
you've talked about the ideal woman, right? So each one of us has the ideal woman in her head.
Yes. And
so
the
we're
ideal
always trying, what is the ideal woman?
Is the right amount of the right qualities at the right time.
Yeah.
Which means she is perfect.
Yeah.
Perfection. We don't know her. We've never seen her. We've never met her. But in our brain, we know, we kind of know who she is. We have this idea of what the perfect woman is.
Right now, I'm like, I know exactly what that weight is. I know exactly how my pants fit at that point. But I think we think if we point it out, we're saying, okay, well,
I'm not quite perfect yet.
I'm not quite there yet. I'm still a work in progress. I promise I'll get there.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Yeah. And that ideal woman who doesn't exist because there is no such thing as perfection is where we compare ourselves to her. And that voice tells us what we're too much of or what we're not enough of. Well, I need bigger boobs. I need smaller hips. I wish I were taller. I wish I was shorter. I need longer hair. I need blonder hair. I need darker hair. I mean, I need to be more educated. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
Never satisfied. Yeah.
And again, it's a lose-lose.
Yeah.
You can't compare yourself to perfection that doesn't exist. How stupid is that? That's just stupid.
Yeah.
And you're not going to win.
But it's why we get, again, why the beauty industry is what it is and why the supplement industry is what it is. Like, take this one pill. Just once a day, this green drink once every day.
Yes,
and then this will turn you into that unicorn.
Right.
Yes.
That isn't real. That is a fantasy. The unicorn. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, that's so good.
Okay, let me say this. So what if, as a woman, men think women are beautiful? Men think, generally speaking, women, you hear them say, oh, the color just entered. Women bring color to a man's life. Yeah. Okay. A woman walks into a room full of men and men will all go, oh, there's a woman here. Yeah. So what if, ladies, you looked at it as men think I'm beautiful? What would that look like? What if when you are walking around, walking through the mall, walking through the grocery store, wherever you are, walking into the house, you, in your mind, instead of I don't measure up, all men think I'm beautiful. What would that look like?
Yeah.
This is what you would look like. You would look confident.
Yeah.
You'd be very appreciative of men. You would look serene and at peace with yourself. You would be able to receive their compliments. You know, women will say, oh, you know, if a man hoots or howls, you know, I remember one time after learning so much of this about how men see women, walking through an airport. And I remember thinking, I'm just going to smile at those servicemen sitting there. See what that does. And I'm just walking by and I smile. I could not believe the response I got. They were like this. And I just kept walking. It was so cute. But what do we women do? We think if they hoot or howl or, hey, babe, we think, oh, you're gross, you pervert. How dare you? And what they're saying is, I think women are beautiful.
Yeah.
They're giving you a compliment. Yeah. What if you just received a compliment? Hi, they're not trying to ravage my body. They're not chasing me down the runway. It just like, I could tell it made them feel good that I was happy. Men are very attracted to happy women. And I smiled at them.
So what I'm hearing you say, this was the question I was going to ask, is that there's not one ideal look, shape that a majority of men are attracted to.
Right.
Men,
depends on the man.
Yeah. All different shapes, all different sizes, heights, weights, hairstyles, all of that.
Yep.
So we can be confident that there is somebody out there who's attracted to us.
Yeah. I've heard men say, oh my gosh, my wife has the perfect body. And as a woman, I'm like, really? Because I'm thinking she's kind of overweight. She's kind of flat. She kind of, you know, but in his eyes, see how harsh we are on women?
Yeah.
But in his eyes, she's got the perfect body. Yeah. I think that is the most precious, beautiful thing. For him, she's just right. There's no perfect woman out there, but for him, she's perfect for him.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So girls, you got to give yourself a break. And you got to give men a break, okay? Men aren't that hard on you, okay? Yeah. We're hard on us.
Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Well, I mean, you did talk about what women do need. You know, their biggest sex organ is their ears.
Yeah.
So how do we have that conversation with men? Because they're visual. We know what we know what to do, right? We know what to wear. We know what they like. We know what t-shirt they like. We know what amount of skin to show to turn them on. But when we do need a little bit more, when we need to hear something, like how can we have that conversation with them?
And let me
to get turned on.
Before I hit that, let me just ask you this. How much skin do you think a woman needs to show to be sexy?
Not much.
Just her face.
Her ankles.
Yeah. It could be just this much. You could be completely covered up.
Yeah.
That much.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. You don't have to show a lot. Remember, if you're dressing in a way that's very provocative, you're going to get that kind of attention. And so do you have to think, what am I trying to draw or attract to me?
Yeah. Who am I trying to attract?
Exactly. If you're looking like, you know, just showing way too much cleavage, too much skin, too tight, everything's hanging out everywhere. You may not get the kind of man that you're striving to get.
Yeah, that you really do desire.
Yeah. Okay. So talking about, what women wear, how they dress will attract certain kind of attention.
Right.
There was actually a study done where there was 2 women sitting at a bar. One looked super classy, not showing a lot of skin. And the other one was just, as sexy as could be. Everything's hanging out. More men approach the classy woman.
Right.
Okay. That is more of a challenge. Yeah. Because the other one looks like she's ready to do it with you right now.
Yeah.
That's not much of a challenge.
Full seductress.
Not much of a chase.
Queen.
Yeah, no queen.
Yeah.
Exactly. But the classy, more conservative looking woman got the attention.
Yeah.
So just a little something to be aware of. And then you asked me a question, how do you let a man know? Because we get aroused by our ears.
Yeah.
How to let him know. And I think just pointing out when he says certain things that touch your heart.
Yeah.
Saying, it might not be a turn on the way it is for a man, because our body doesn't show it like a man's show it. But you could say, when you talk about that kind of stuff, when you are
Send me those little flirty text messages.
Yes. That is a turn on for me.
Yeah.
I just want you to know that turns me on.
Yeah.
And just letting him know, I love hearing that. Thank you. That's like a gift to my ears, and letting him know these kinds of things get me going, babe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's so good.
There's all kinds of things that get you going. Certain kinds of touch, certain words that he says, certain kinds of talk. Yeah. And you can let him know what
and
it does.
when we let him know, then we find out, that's a carbon copy. They will do that.
Yes.
Over and over and over again.
They do what works.
They will do what works.
They find something that works, they're going to keep doing it. Absolutely.
So good. All right. So get into the bedroom.
Yeah.
All right. Women, don't be afraid of your curves, your scent. Embrace your flaws, but don't point them out. So if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell. It helps us if you leave any comments or questions you have down below, and we'll bring you new episodes as often as we can. And make sure you follow Danielle on Instagram and Facebook.